it is crazy that we're still talking about stigma and reputation and perception of the crypto space in 2026.
Even today, we're still facing issues with some bank accounts, for example, even Revolut, and they just block your account. They just they don't approve you. So this still exists today.
Even now, banks in Greece are a cartel squeezing everyone dry.
I would say generally, the whole global banking system, I would describe this as a cartel. There are 5-6 top banks that basically control the whole system. I have people that say to me, banks are owned by the government.
Is this by design? You don't want to be called a crypto company?
Everything we do is on-chain. We use blockchain technology for everything. But the idea for us is for the user to never realize they're using blockchain technology.
We need to come together as a community and hire a head of brand of crypto and to build a more trusted and reputable brand.
We're still closing this Twitter, the X bubble. We have yet to see, other than some of the biggest YouTubers in the XRP community have blocked me because I have called them out.
Hi everyone, this is Catherine, your podcast host here at the Buildooor, where we talk with founders and builders about anything unfiltered. And today's guest is Panos Mekras, CEO and founder of Anodos Finance. Panos, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I am excited about this conversation. So I would love you to maybe give us a one-liner about what is Anodos Finance, and what people should know about that, especially people who might not ever heard about it.
Perfect. So I always like to describe Anodos Labs as a global fintech, transforming how the world interacts with money through a global financial super app. This is what we're actually also heading towards. In the crypto world, I would consider also a DeFi project, but we also, our mission from the day one has been to simplify everything and use terms that the most of the world is already used to instead of complicating things. So we're a fintech. We build applications on top of blockchain technology, and decentralized finance is in our core.
Mm-hmm. Well, you keep saying that you're a fintech company, a fintech platform. Is this by design? You don't want to be called a crypto company, or it's just that you have not only crypto assets but fintech features? Let me call it that way.
It's not only it's not only that. I would say that because there is this stigma. I think to most people, to the everyday person in the street, that when they hear crypto, they the mind usually if they've heard about crypto, they usually mind goes to memes, scams.
Oh yeah,
trading. It's it's associated with all these, let's say, negative things. And in the end of the day, what we're building is we want everything we do is on chain. We use blockchain technology for everything. We have one of the leading DEX, for example, in the XRP ecosystem. We're now building this on-chain neobank. But the idea for us is for the user to never realize they're using blockchain technology. So this is our ethos. So they don't need to know about crypto or blockchain. They just need to benefit from this technology. So we don't need to complicate things and add these terms that even have this stigma, or they will just make people more confused.
I do understand where you're coming from, and it does seem that despite so many years of crypto being here, and not here in this room, but just here, you know what I mean, right? It still feels like the more we grow, the more speculators and bad actors are entering the space, right? And so I guess that's why you decide. Do you feel have you get any criticism from the hardcore crypto community because you define yourself as a fintech, not as a crypto company, or it's just it never came up?
Thankfully not. Because when we started 2.5 years ago, we started more as a crypto native projects, still using the term. So we took that, let's say, transition gradually. So now it's the last few months that we also started also in the website. We started changing some terms, using more traditional finance terms. So it was more step-by-step process. So it's something that we're doing gradually, and I think most people see this as a positive thing. I haven't heard anyone saying anything like negative about it, which I think ultimately it's like will benefit like the whole industry, because we believe, this is how mass adoption comes. If millions of people are using an app and they have no idea they're using blockchain, I think this is a big win for the whole industry. Just like how the internet did. I mean, we're used to to use the internet. I mean, when we think of the internet, we don't think of internet stocks or like speculation or trading. We think of the actual technology and how it has changed our lives. So yeah, for this to happen in this industry, I think we really need to show the benefits to the world.
Have you found it's easier to deal with the rest of the world or the outside world if you're not a crypto company per se, but a fintech? Is it regulatory thing or just a perception from other kind of people? Is it easier, or you don't really see a lot of difference?
Well, I would say that it's not like particularly easier, because I mean, for people that really want to learn about the company, I mean, they see like fintech, then they, for example, dive deep and they see like it's related to crypto and blockchain. So if there's like this negative stigma, I mean, they will have like more questions, like so it's like let's say, but I mean, if they have no idea about crypto, I think that's great, because they don't really care about the back end technology. So yeah, I think overall, yeah, that's what we're trying to slowly hide all these components in the background.
I want to kind of chime in with my story, if you don't mind. It's crazy. It is crazy that we're still talking about stigma and reputation and perception of the crypto space in 2026, because just imagine 2018, Amsterdam, Money 2020. I was a deputy editor-in-chief at Cointelegraph, and I was visiting this huge, the biggest finance conference ever, just first of all as a journalist, second of all just for networking purposes and to kind of get people to know about Cointelegraph and to do a couple of video segments. And there was a woman speaking on stage, and she was from IBM, and she was talking about considering looking into the blockchain technology. That's what she said on the stage. So I pursued her, and I kind of approached her afterwards and said, hey, my name is Catherine. I'm here and there. There's like Cointelegraph stuff. Would you like to give us a comment, give us an interview, or maybe write an opinion article? And she said, look, you're really nice, but we had an internal memo from the headquarters that kind of prohibits us from talking to any company that has the word coin or crypto in it.
Oh,
and so that's like 2018. I did understand that then. 2018, it was post ICO era, but we're not there anymore. And it's just like, it saddens me that we're still here. It's still it's not a bad place, but it's like bad-ish place. It's like, you have to be cautious. I'm offended.
I mean, even today, I mean, we're still like facing issues with like as a company, like with like some bank accounts, for example. We had like many, like even like Revolut and like this, let's say, big fintech names, which are supposed, like they even support like crypto trading inside their app, but somehow they don't support, let's say, businesses that are associated with crypto. I mean, they just block your account. They do not approve you. So I mean, this like still exists today, despite like all the, let's say, more crypto-friendly regulations and everything that's happening around the world. I think it will take some more time for, especially for TradFi to like come together.
Well, given that so many major banks, institutional banks, and hardcore TradFi corporations are entering crypto, you would think that we're here, that we're there probably already, right? That it's okay to say I work in crypto and nobody's gonna look at you like you're crazy. But we're not. So here's my question. First of all, do you think that this stigma will ever disappear? Will the crypto industry get rid of it in total, like at all? And if yes, what needs to be done? That's the question.
I think, yeah, eventually it will, but I think, especially institutions right now, I mean, they're like they have like split this space, let's say, into like crypto assets, like speculation, trading, like memes, all this kind of stuff. And real world assets and stablecoins, which is like the biggest, let's say, topic and trend for the past 1-2 years. So institutions and like the big players are focusing there. They're focusing on tokenization and like the more real world use cases. But they're still like negative on like this, let's say, as you said, like still crypto projects and crypto businesses. They still have this stigma because they appear as risky, which, on one hand, it might be true because if they're associated with their own token, with a meme coin, it's more risky, like it involves like more risk. But eventually, I think as the industry matures and we go more into these real world use cases, which is something that, I'm also like for. I would like to, start seeing, instead of like focusing, as I said, when we think about crypto, the mind goes directly to memes, to trading, and how we can make money with crypto, and not how we can use this technology to benefit, either as individuals or businesses, whatever it is. So unless this mindset changes, this stigma will not change. So when we start thinking about blockchain and crypto, and we think about the tech itself, I think this is when this will change.
From what I'm hearing, we need to come together as a community and hire a head of brand of crypto, entire crypto. Every company should pitch in and pay this person to change the perspective and to build a more trusted and reputable brand of crypto in general.
Now that you mentioned that, I would say that marketing has played like a big role in the crypto industry,
of course,
and specifically bad marketing, because just think of the terms we're using. Connect your wallet, which doesn't mean anything to the average person. It's just sign in and sign up. We're just inventing these new terms which shouldn't exist, like on-off ramps, onboarding, like all these let's say fancy things. Just because we're in new tech doesn't mean that we have to invent new things. They're still like work exactly the same or similar to like Web 2 concepts. So why change it and confuse like people? So like even the marketing and like the awareness we've created has like closed us into that bubble where now we have to get out of it.
What do you mean by bad marketing? Is it really bad marketing campaigns by certain companies, or the ones that you mentioned is like we're using complex terms to sound fancy, but that's the way that we might off-put different people who are not clear on what this industry is. So what is bad marketing in that sense?
Well, this is, from the complex terms like, bad UI, UX, and like the way, for example, when you see crypto ads, they are like related to crypto by the way, for example, you see like the coins, like the way they advertise their products, which is not like so much, let's say, related to the real world. So I would like to see like more, let's say, related, focus on the real product and, how the user can benefit instead of how they can make, more money, for example, which is what has this industry has focused more like all over these years. So yeah, it's the way like we advertise as an industry, as projects, as like apps to the outside world. And we're still like closing this the Twitter, the X bubble. We have yet to see, other than the big players like Coinbase, Ripple, and the big names that have done some great campaigns. Other than that, like all the other, let's say, thousands of projects and apps haven't really done anything, good marketing for the outside world and for the outsiders. So I think, this is what we need to fix.
Do you think, in your personal perspective, not as a founder and CEO of Anodos, but just the person in crypto, who is doing this right? Who is doing good marketing that brings something into the space? Who's doing brand and marketing right? Is it Coinbase, Binance, or maybe someone smaller, maybe just a very small community that is doing this right?
The top names that come to mind is Coinbase and Ripple are like, I think they're the players who, especially the last 2 or 3 years, have focused a lot on also like traditional finance and onboarding like non-crypto natives. I think this is like very important. So when for example, I would just go to Coinbase and Ripple, and then of course Anodos. For example, we just launched a commercial like last month, which doesn't it never mentions crypto or blockchain, just like shows like all these benefits that are coming with better finance, like faster, cheaper, like more transparent, like showing like the issues of the banking system. I mean, we don't need to show blockchain, we just need to show the issues and how, for example, users benefit with this new app. So yeah, I mean, this I would say these are like top of examples, but most of the industry, I think, is still lagging on this, as most projects and most apps are still focusing on crypto users.
You've mentioned XRP, and we're going to touch on this a little bit later because I do have a question that I think very close to what we have been discussing, but we definitely need to talk about XRP and Ripple in the sense of Anodos, in the sense of a crypto community. I do have questions because, there's always something to talk about. So, to be fair, Panos, you're not particularly friendly toward banking systems as well. Right? Because you have a tweet, like literally, this is the first tweet that I saw pinned on your profile when I checked your social media. And the headline is awesome. Why I am here and what motivates me to build in crypto. And then I'm just going to read this out loud. Growing up as a teenager in Greece during the 2008 financial crisis, I saw our economy crushed. Fair point, right? This global financial crisis, every single country suffered. Bank collapse. Of the next 10 years, everything went downhill. Bank collapse, capital control, blah, blah, blah. A very, 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 very dark time. I agree. And then here's what really surprised me. Even now, banks in Greece are a cartel squeezing everyone dry. Let's talk about that. Are you talking about European Union banks specifically, or Greece, or just banks in general? What? It's a cartel. It's a dangerous statement in these times. You know what I mean? People are no longer free in their definitions based on what's going on social media. I'm kidding, of course, but talk to me about banks in Greece being a cartel.
I would say generally, I mean, the whole global banking system, I would describe this as a cartel, especially because if you select the SWIFT and like being owned by the top banks, like, JP Morgan, HSBC, like Citi, like there are like 5, 6 top banks that basically control the whole system. And they actually, for example, benefit from all the other smaller banks and institutions that basically the 99% pays these top banks to like with, correspondent banking system, which like is decades old and, needs like a huge upgrade. But still, I mean, they if, we change that, then all these top banks will lose this huge profit. We're talking about like many billions of dollars. But talking about Greece specifically, I mean, for example, there are like 4 main banks here in Greece. And basically, yeah, everyone is like connected together. They like when they put like new fees, I mean, they do it all together. So that means something. I mean, that they are like in contact despite being competitors, like in the front end, but in the back end, we know that they're really communicating and they're really just, working together to just, destroy people's and business lives, because that's what they do. I mean, they just put more restrictions, more control, and, they just, as I said, like, they squeeze everyone dry.
And an example comes to mind. I recently read just an article. It's not a confession. It's just a post from a girl or a woman, not specifically sure about her age. She came to a bank in Switzerland, which I mean, not European Union per se, but a European Economic Union, right? It's a huge part of that. And she said she had 10K, not francs, but euros, and she wanted in cash, and she wanted to put them to her bank account. She wanted to kind of, just have them in her bank account. The bank refused. I'm not sure what bank that was specifically, but somewhere in Geneva. She said the bank refused and said that they are very likely to call the police because, nobody should have that much cash on hand, and that it looks criminal. So, and this, to me, when I moved to a European Union, this is crazy, because I come from what people call a developing country, Belarus, and it's much easier than that. It's not a problem to to kind of come in and put a lot of money in the banks. And it's not a democracy per se, if you know what I mean. So it's not, I wouldn't call it a very free country. So banks are still very regulated, and it's a huge, tight regulation over literally every aspect of our lives. And so this is insane to me. And you mentioned that in your post as well. To swipe your card, to pay for something, you have to, or to, to get some cash from your own credit card or debit card, you have to pay extra for literally everything. And now I have a bank that charges me extra if I do more than 20 transactions per month. And that's like insane to me. If I buy coffee every single day, just coffee, right? Here it is. If I buy coffee every single day, it means that on every 20th of every month, I will be charged extra for this cup of coffee. And that's like, talk to me about that. When did this all go so wrong? Why this is happening? Explain that to me, because my background, where I grew up is very different, and European Union and its banking system is just, I'm very curious about that. Is it happened because of the financial crisis, or is it because of the economy and they're trying to cash in on literally everything? Talk to me about that.
I think I would say the financial crisis. I mean, we know why it happened. It was, again, the, big institutions' fault. I mean, it was not like the citizens' fault. So we know, what happened is, because...
But that was in the U.S. in the first place. Should we blame the U.S.? I'm kidding. Obviously, kidding. Yeah, I'm going to be canceled.
Everyone, when, especially banks that have power, they see, someone else, doing something else, they will copy it. So, it doesn't matter where it came from. It matters that, everyone did it. Everyone just, was very greedy. They were basically corrupt and tried to squeeze again everyone dry without caring about what will happen next. And then they, governments bailed them out with taxpayers' money. And then I think they found an opportunity, despite in the news and the headlines seeing that regulations get stricter for banks, and despite nobody went in jail, and we know what happened. But despite saying all these lots of fancy things for the people, in the background, that's not what happened, because we saw that there were other changes that happened gradually, and I think it was a big motivation for them to steer, let's say, the focus somewhere else. But in the background, they work on other things, and they just try to push. As we said, all these new fees, new models that, unfortunately, I think it's also a problem of how most people are used to the banking system, and that they think there's no alternative. It's so hardcore into our lives for the last, let's say, 2 centuries, that we can't really think ourselves without banks. We think that, I have people that say to me that they think, especially older people, that think that, let's say, banks are owned by the government. Or you have even people thinking that the US dollar is still backed by gold, which is crazy to me. So I think it's also, big lack of education, and still, people thinking that there's no alternative, that banks are necessary and we can't live without them. But I think this is what we need to change. We need to change their mentality. We need to educate them. We need to do something. Not as an industry, but, I think it matters all the industries and all the world on how we can educate people around us, this financial literacy that is very important, and how we can look for alternatives that makes our lives better.
It's true, but it feels that it's going to be more difficult than you want this to be. You know what I mean? There isn't an alternative. The crypto space, the fintech space, if you will, they're all offering something else, right? Instant transfers, and then paying for something with no fees. There's obviously fees, especially if you're paying in different cryptocurrencies, but just a lot less, let's say, right? There is no obstacle sending currency from one place to another. You don't have to wait for 10 days. You don't have to provide proof of funds, anything, right? And so a lot easier. But what we're seeing is that the traditional finance and the traditional everything is very resistant to that change. Not because it's unknown, it is known, but because it presents danger to someone else's pocket. That's what I think, right? Because obviously banks, some of the banks are not owned by government, but they are collaborating with the government to play by the government's rules and to make money and to get the board happy, rich, greedy, and stuff. So, what needs to happen for this system to change? And do you think crypto will ever be able to do that honestly? Because we're not in 2017 anymore to just speak in broader terms.
I mean, before answering that, I mean, you mentioned that, banks try to play by the government rules.
Of course.
But I would say it's the exact opposite.
Really?
It's the government that's trying to play by the banks rule, because these are like, who funds the government? It's like the big banks, the big pockets that have the money and like back the politicians. So they're the ones who are pushing for regulations and for changes. So it's
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Of course.
It's actually the opposite, but I think what needs to change is, first of all, as an industry, because we know DeFi, we know blockchain is the solution. It's a better alternative than what we have now. So I think the solution is to bring the similar experience that most people are used to, but and bring this new, let's say, DeFi world, in an invisible way, which is actually, what Anodos Labs wants to do. But for example, now, we have these neobanks with fintechs, like these new apps, new banking apps that are not like directly related to like banking institutions, but they still rely on the banking system. But now we're seeing these crypto neobanks rising, that they are operating on chain, powered by stablecoins. But the issue is that most of these are still trying to push this crypto technology in the front end for the users. So the user still sees stablecoins. They still see, for example, USDT, USDC, which the average person has no idea what to choose or what they're even about. So instead of like trying to push this in the front end, why not just use DeFi, still use stablecoins, but the user doesn't really need to know that. So if we just offer an alternative, I mean, that works exactly the same as any other banking app that people are used to. So you go in, you see US dollars, you can send like money instantly. For example, pay someone, invest like in ways. For example, you can buy a piece of real estate, which is tokenized. But again, the user doesn't need to know that. Everything works on the background seamlessly. So I think this is the solution. We make this powerful technology invisible. And it's after people have started using this that they realize, oh, this actually uses crypto or blockchain. And this is where, they get this, their mind blown, and they realize that crypto is not only about memes or trading and what we talked about earlier.
It's actually about something very useful.
This is how like the whole mentality changes all over the world. We bring these apps, everyday apps that everyone can use, from finance to data to like socials, like everything. And they have no idea they're using blockchain, and then they realize that, and then everything changes.
All right, so let's hope that will happen very soon. I desperately think that we need that, or I think that we desperately need that. Probably both statements are true. Talk to me about Anodos. What kind of team do you have at the moment, and are you decentralized or remote, or do you have an office? So talk to me about, let's say, Anodos from the back end.
So yeah, we started as 4 people back in 2023. Now we are 10 people. We are fully remote, no like offices, no physical offices at least yet. But yeah, I mean, we're fully remote around the world. Although half of the team is from Greece. But yeah. 10 people in the team right now.
10 people. Okay, it sounds a lot, and also not very, very much. What kind of teams do you have? You have obviously developers, probably. Yeah. I'm hoping. Is there a product manager / product designer? Is there a marketing team, compliance / regulation? So talk to me about that. How it's broken down into.
So our culture. I mean, we're trying to, obviously we're still a startup, but we're still trying to maintain this startup culture, because we have seen like the issues. For example, I don't know if I can say names, but like the top names in the industry.
Please name names.
And for example, I will mention Ripple because we're in contact with Ripple. I mean, we have like very good relationships with them, and I've seen things from within and how everything works.
Mm-hmm.
And as every corporation, as every big company, this corporate structure and like the manager after
Yep.
manager, the middle management that destroys everything. And we never want to do that. So we want to keep our team like lean, flexible, and direct. For example, yes, we have like our CTO, we have like two developers, uh, we have like someone who is responsible for the marketing, design, and all these things. But the thing is that there's no for example, you want to talk with the CTO, you can't. I mean, in most companies you can. You have to go over, let's say, the chief engineer first or someone else. Then he's the one who will talk to the CTO and pass your message. I mean, that doesn't happen here. It will never happen. Everyone can talk to everyone any day. We have like frequent calls, like monthly calls that everyone can update everyone. We have like Q&As. So yeah, we keep this, let's say, open, friendly culture where, we don't put this middle management that basically is like a
Corporate
wall to
structure.
everyone else. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's not.
So
It's
this is
not
that
there.
we also like, this is something we want to maintain in the future as well as we grow. Doesn't matter if we're 20, 30 people. Yeah, we need like, I
You
think
do realize it's going to be harder when, as you
yes, yes,
scale.
yes.
Sometimes some of the pieces of the corporate structure is usually implemented just for the sake of managing people, managing times and stuff. But yeah, I get it. So, what is the hardest thing for you as crypto builder? As a founder in the crypto space, what is the hardest thing? Is it lack of sleep? Is it toxic Twitter? Is it just being associated with the crypto space? Just what is your experience?
I think it's like many things. I mean, but obviously, I would say compared to other industries, this industry is 24/7.
Uh-huh.
I know the crypto markets never stop. Like
Uh-huh.
the apps never stop. Like the world like never sleeps. There's always someone like awake. So you have to have people around the world that even like it's for support or something that can like do something. For example, we can be in Greece and like it's for example midnight here, but like noon in another country, and then there's like a big issue or a bug happens to on the app. There needs to be someone, for example, that will solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the most difficult thing is building a good and at the same time distributed team that can really handle every case and everything that happens. And then yeah, finding like the right people. Despite being 10 people, I mean, we could be more, but I mean, I think the harder part is like finding the right people with like the right work ethics, with or like especially now with like AI and vibe coding and all these like trends. I think most people don't really care about doing a good job or like paying attention to details. It's just most of the people unfortunately care about just making fast money and like doing some sloppy work and whatever it is. So I think this is another growing problem, not only for us, but I think everyone and for most companies, that it's very difficult to find really good people.
I'm actually pleased to hear that, you care about quality in that sense because this is exactly what I say all the time and people don't like to hear that. Because like it's about
Yeah, yeah,
quality, it's not about quantity and stuff.
always,
All
yeah, yeah.
right. I am stepping into a very dangerous territory here because I'm going to be asking about the XRP community. First of all, how is Anodos connected to XRP and XRPL, right? Because I know you wrote an article about why you think the XRP Ledger is going to be the leading blockchain in 2026. Talk to me, how are you connected technically, or are you a part of the ecosystem? That's the first question.
So yeah, I mean, when I started my crypto journey about 10 years ago, I mean, XRP was the first crypto I invested in.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like very early into that ecosystem, and like I decided to focus on that because for me, for example, Ethereum was like another like after XRP was Ethereum that I got into, and I started exploring what else is there.
Mm-hmm.
But when 2017 came with like the ICOs and this like bull run, I saw the issues, for example, with Bitcoin and Ethereum. We were seeing like transactions costing like over $50 per transaction, or like Bitcoin transaction taking over a day to settle. I saw like all these issues. While I was trying to use Ethereum back then, and I had to pay, for example, $100 for a single swap. I mean, it was crazy. And then you had XRP, the XRP Ledger network that didn't care. They just still going on 3 seconds under a cent, transaction fee. And I said, this a technology that will like stand in the long term. So that's when, it clicked me. I said, this is where, I need to double down. I need to focus on that ecosystem. And I built like a lot of connections to the community. I started, creating my own content on Twitter. I started like, writing articles. So yeah, just grew my audience. And my, let's say, persona was like really all around XRP. And, years later, that, we started Anodos. I mean, it was because, even like the co-founders that I met were like 3 co-founders. They were still like we met from the XRP community. We get to know each other from this community. And despite like seeing the issues in industry, like this friction, like the complexity, which we wanted to start Anodos, we decided to focus on the XRP ecosystem because it was like what we believed a great technology and really practical, really like useful when it comes to real world use cases and financial use cases, which has been like what else like Ripple and others have been focusing on. But then we also like saw a big gap because many people in the industry don't know that the XRP Ledger was actually the first blockchain that had a DEX back in 2012. Many people still think it was Ethereum, like with Balancer or like Uniswap in 2016-17 that came up with the DEXs, but it was actually XRPL back in 2012. Also, it was also the first blockchain to have stablecoins back in 2013, also wrapped Bitcoin, like all these crazy things. And these terms didn't even exist back then. These terms were invented with Ethereum, which they played a very good marketing. And unfortunately, XRPL did not. I mean, that was a big issue. So all these great features were hidden in the background. Even most of the XRP holders didn't know about them. So we wanted to do something as a project to bring to the surface these amazing features and increase the awareness on the network. And at the same time, tackle the issues about complexity and remove friction from the space.
I think I won't be wrong if I say that some of the communities in this space are cult-like, almost like religious following, religious community, and that actually works for XRP as well. So we have Ethereum hardcore fans, followers, if you will. There's also Solana, Ton. It's like, for me, when I open X and I see those communities fighting, it's like it's a fight on the ring. You know what I mean? So, and XRP is extremely dangerous for journalists to cover because I saw my colleagues getting brutalized and just ripped apart online because they said something that the community did not agree with. Even though that's factually true, they don't like the way that it presents the community and just Ripple and XRP both, so that they don't like it. They're going to tear you down. They're going to burn your house. They're going to find you, dox you. And it's just, yeah. So how that part of the XRP community plays into building around this community? Did you feel pressure ever? Have you ever find yourself in a precarious situation when you said something the community didn't like? So building an XRP in their XRP community, what it's like?
So on one hand, I mean, I always love like this, how passionate the community is, and how like, I think it's probably, one of the most passionate communities in the world. And they really like support like, the good causes, and especially what happened with the SEC case, like all these 2-3 years. I mean, it was like, crazy what happened. But on the other hand, I mean, we have this cult-like, as you said, like community. There are some people that are really hardcore, but are also like associated with these crazy price predictions, like, with every community. But still, I mean, we have these like different theories, like, XRP will become, let's say, the reserve asset around the world. It will go to $1,000 like overnight. There are like these crazy things that, I don't personally support. So I have always tried to remain like in the middle and like to try to be like the sane person. And I always like fought misinformation both within the community and outside the community, because on one hand we have the, let's say, Bitcoin maximalists, that this is where everything started from, because if you go back to Bitcoin forum in 2013-14, that XRP and Ripple started like growing their awareness. I think many Bitcoiners saw it as a threat, because XRP was really created as a better Bitcoin, faster, cheaper, more sustainable. And then you had like Bitcoin maxis actually trying to pay others to say that XRP is a scam, or like it's centralized, like all these like different things. And that's where everything started. And then we saw like the media, like over the next years, like pushing this misinformation and like talking about XRP in a negative way, pushing this centralization narrative, pushing like.
First of all, this pains me to think that some of the media did this on purpose. This is unethical, to say the least. But do you think that it's just kind of negative or bad marketing, or the consequences of that campaign that you're talking about? Or do you think there's literally nothing bad to say about the XRP community, or there is?
No. I mean, I think that there are like pros and cons, like in like every situation, like every ecosystem, like every community. So yeah, of course, there are many bad things as well, like in XRP. And I said it, like, there are some parts of the community that they're really hardcore. They're like pushing for like these different like theories, or like they're really like harsh with everyone, and I never liked this maximalism narrative. So I'm against it. So yeah, I see it as a bad as well, as a bad thing. But yeah, on the other hand, as for example, as Anodos, we never felt that pressure, because we always understood, let's say, what the community really needs, and we always like we're always open for feedback. But then it's also like the part that you can't always please everyone. And, as personally being vocal all over the years, and, even going against sometimes with some XRP community members, I think that, shouldn't like stop us, because even if we get some negative comments, I think we're doing the right thing. And as long as the majority is with us, and we're just building like the right thing, I think we are okay with that. I mean, yeah, we can just be okay with everyone. And yeah, I think that's okay.
You're a lead validator, right? And a founder. But if you search XRP on Google or ChatGPT or Grok or whatever you guys are using these days, it's 99% of price charts and conspiracy theories, right? How do you find that 1% of people who are actually building on the ledger? Do you have a secret filler for the noise? How do you find those people?
Yeah. I mean, it's been like years of effort that, I've been trying to filter between like what's nonsense and what's not. And, I've, for example, some of the biggest YouTubers and like the XRP community have blocked me because I have called them out, because they've been trying to push this conspiracy. Yeah, they've been trying to, push these conspiracy theories, like crazy predictions and all this kind of stuff. So I think that's a good thing, because you realize eventually, what's really bad for the ecosystem and what's like causing harm, and what's really like substantial, like the developers, the builders, or people who really care about the ecosystem, and they care more about, let's say, the adoption of the network than the speculation and like XRP's price, which is something that I have also pointed out to my recent article. When you talk about how XRP can become the leading blockchain, I also point out a lot of the issues that we have as an ecosystem and how we can solve them.
Do you get heat for that?
Yes, I mean, yeah, from some people, yes, because you always have this, let's say, I will say it like as blind people, they wear these blinders that they don't really care about what happens on the outside. They just really focus on this, like, they're convinced somehow about whether that's conspiracies or predictions or like high prices, and they don't, and unfortunately many people just care about Ripple, and for better, for good, for worse, it's like Ripple, it's the biggest player in the ecosystem. They have like the resources, and that's where most holders look at.
You said a lot of people don't care about Ripple, or care?
Most people just care about Ripple, and they don't care about anything else. I mean, they don't really pay attention to other projects or like developers, because, they care about Ripple's use case and what they're doing about the financial system, which, it's good, but still, Ripple is one of the many projects and contributors of the ecosystem. And one solution to that is, what we have been trying to do is bring more users to the ecosystem, especially non-crypto natives or from other ecosystems, increase awareness. So most people that come are not because of Ripple, like they did in the previous years, but it's because of something new, of a great app that's built on XRPL. And this is another thing that we want to change.
Well, and I truly hope that you will be able to do that. The good marketing that we talked about at the beginning of the episode, because we really need that. And I do have a final question for a potential founder that is considering joining the XRP network, the community. What kind of advice would you have for them to do or not to do, the things to do or not to do? So how would you advise them to proceed with building in this space?
I would say, start talking with the community. It's always, great
On
to...
X, on Reddit, or...
No, X. Everyone is on X. I think it's the number one, everyone around crypto. But I would say, talk to the community, see the comments. Not about the speculation and prices, but see about from the actual, let's say, users, what they really want around the ecosystem. For example, from better UI to UX, a new solution or an app that nobody has built yet. There's a lot of opportunity because there hasn't been enough, not innovation, but at least for the last years, because, XRPL started great with all this being a pioneer in DeFi and many things, but then it lagged. So for the last few years, we haven't had that volume and activity as other ecosystems. So there's a lot of opportunity to really build a good product. And I would just say focus on real world use cases, and not so much on memes, because most of the community and the XRP holders hate that. They hate seeing extraction from the community. They hate seeing meme coins and other tokens. And just build good apps, good products that, especially if it's built for mass adoption and for the everyday person or for businesses that they can benefit from. If you bring this real world value, I think, most of the community will appreciate it. And you have more chances to grow there and succeed.
And what if they just want to cash in, or they just want to, to have a good buck on their account? What would you say? Go find some other community to do that, or
if you really want, to go big fast, or find, let's say, launch your own token or something fast. Just you can go to Solana or to another chain. It's Solana has it's much more for memes, so it has much bigger trading activity, this speculation stuff. While, the XRP holders are most passive holders, more, let's say, conservative. So you really need to understand the communities first and what is it that you want to build, and then decide where you want to go.
Thank you. Thank you, Panos, so much for your time and for your wisdom. I'm not so scared of the XRP community and network anymore. I've always been very concerned about touching those topics, but it's not so scary. Well, we'll see after this episode airs. We'll see what they have to say, but hopefully it's going to be, it's going to be not so pressing or depressing. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck building and good luck staying sane, and both in the XRP community and in the crypto space. Thank you so much.
Thank you.